Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to Spiritually Aligned, a podcast designed to support women on their journey of awakening. Over the next several months, I'll be dedicating this channel to supporting, guiding, bringing understanding and clarity to the divine feminines on the twin flame journey. And for those of you that are on the path, I invite you into this space. I am your host, Melissa, a spiritual guide and mentor and a Reiki master. For those of you that are into human design, I'm a 3-5 emotional projector, which means I'm just here to guide others and share with you what it is that I've learned on my journey in this life, to share with you what works and what doesn't work, so you can take what resonates with you and start applying it to your journey. And in today's episode, I am going to be talking about 7 things that I have learned on my journey as the divine feminine in my twin flame connection. And so I invite you to join me. So grab a cup of coffee or a cup of cacao and settle in as we navigate into these 7 things that I have learned. But before I share these things and dive into this, I want to just remind the divine feminines out there that this journey as a twin flame is about you. Your divine counterpart, for most of you, was a catalyst to your awakening, to awaken you to remember who it is that you are and to step into your authenticity. Yes, we have another person who shares the same soul as we do. And there's this intense connection and pull to them, especially as the divine feminines. And I want you to remember that this is about you, not about them. They're just your mirror and helping you become that version of you that you've known lies within you your whole entire life. And I made the mistake for years focusing on union. And what I realized, and this isn't even one of the things that I learned, but it is, but it's kind of like a bonus. But one of the things that I learned is by focusing on union, I actually took away valuable, precious time and energy away from myself. And I want you to feel into that statement for a moment and connect to your heart, connect to your soul, and see how you are doing the exact same thing. So many of you are grasping and reaching and chasing after another person. But what most of you don't realize is that by chasing this other person that you most likely have on a pedestal, you're actually running from yourself. And you are showing yourself time and time again that you're not good enough. You're abandoning and rejecting yourself. And this is an opportunity to break that cycle and to break that pattern. And to remember that your divine masculine is a bonus. I know this may sound really harsh, or maybe it's triggering you a little bit, but they are, it's like a bonus when you think about, a job. And I'm not relating this journey at all to a job, but like what is coming through and reminding me of, for some of you that are in jobs where you have a base pay and then you have an opportunity to receive a bonus based on your performance, based on the work that you do. And that bonus isn't a guarantee. It's based on your performance, right? That's kind of like the divine masculine. The divine masculine is a bonus to your life. It's adding to something that you are already creating and doing for yourself, which is coming into union within, creating the best life you could ever experience. And for some of you that have been on this journey for a while, some of you are actually living your best life but you haven't even realized it yet. Because let's think about it for a moment. Is when you think about where you are in your journey right now, a lot of you have broken generational curses. You have healed childhood trauma that was keeping you codependent. Many of you have rewritten your story around money and are embodying or beginning to embody your natural essence, the true essence of who you are. But yet you're so focused on where it is that you're going or where it is that you want to be that you are missing out on this very moment to realize that you are living your best life. The best life that you have lived yet. And so I want you to take a moment and really feel into that and celebrate all it is that you have accomplished and what it is that you've overcome, and to be proud of yourself and to understand that the work that you have been doing has paid off. Many of you are stepping into new financial abundance. And for those of you that are new to the journey, welcome. And let the lessons and the experiences that those of us who have came before you in this journey, let us teach you what to do and what not to do. And so I want to start diving into the 7 things that I've learned. And this was just something that has come through. Everything that I've been talking about is just something that's come through, is being channeled as I'm tapping into this energy. And so the first thing I want you to understand and to share with you is I learned that there are no rules when it comes to the twin flame journey. There are gurus, teachers, false twin flames that have been speaking about this journey for years and telling us what we should do and what we shouldn't do. And there's created these rules, these structures that actually are keeping many of you stuck. It's keeping you in a place of preventing you from moving forward, because so many of you are feeling that if you make a mistake, you're going to screw everything up. Because I was once there. I was so afraid to message my DM, even though my intuition was telling me to do so. I was so afraid because of what the twin flame community says. Oh, the divine feminine should never message the divine masculine. But here's the thing that I learned is when I follow my intuition, it is always leading me to the highest timeline, the timeline that's full of compassion and understanding for both myself and my divine masculine. So I encourage you to let go of all those rules. Listen to your inner knowing and allow your intuition to guide you. The second thing that I learned on my journey is I got to learn and understand what it feels like to be deeply connected to my body and to feel deeply both the highs and the lows that life brings. Because as divine feminines, we're emotional beings, and we get to embody these emotions, and we're meant to feel, because these are teaching us things about ourselves. These are reminders of who we are. But not only that, when you can deeply connect to yourself, it enhances your connection with everyone and everything, including nature and your beloved. The third thing that I learned was that God was always there for me and saying yes to all my needs and all of my desires. However, I was the one that was disconnected from God. And actually, in the very beginning of my journey, when I awakened and understood that I was on the twin flame journey, I was deeply connected to God. I had already an amazing relationship with God. But somebody else on the twin flame journey who had been on this path longer than me had convinced me that I didn't need God. Like, God doesn't really exist. And I disconnected myself from the source energy, the creator, the universe. And what I didn't realize was that I was disconnecting from a part of me, because I believe I am an extension of God. I am a God spark. My soul was once connected to God, the creator. And I get to experience life embodying this energy, and to realize that I am the co-creator of my reality with God, which means that God is always saying yes to me, yes to all my needs and all my desires. But we have to remember that our subconscious programming, our limiting beliefs, our conditions, the templates that we have incarnated into is what is attracting things into our reality. And so if we're constantly thinking about fearful things, we're in a state of lack, guess what? God's going to say, yes, you can have more of that. Yes, you can have more of that. I will bring you more. And so where is it that you can deepen your connection with God? Because it's you, your beloved, and God. And so I want you to feel into where is it that you can deepen your connection with God, which allows you to deepen your connection not only with yourself, but your DM. This fourth thing that I want to share with you is something that's really, really important for the divine feminines to understand. And once you can understand this and truly embody this concept, your energy, your interactions with your beloved are going to change. And before I get into this fourth one, I want you to know that these 7 things that I'm sharing with you, they're in no particular order. It's just whatever was coming through in my heart when I was thinking about creating this episode. And they've come into my journey at various times, and some before others and some later on. But this fourth thing, when I truly understood this changed everything in my dynamic for myself and my beloved. Was I needed to understand that my divine masculine was me. And yes, like I talked about in my first episode, that we all have the understanding that they are us in another body. But you have to go deeper into your understanding, which means that whatever I see within him, I must also say, how do I still have that within me? And by saying this, it does not mean that you are taking responsibility for their healing or responsibility for what it is that they're going through. No, I'm not saying that. Because for me, it's not my responsibility to heal my beloved. But it is my responsibility to heal myself. And whatever I can see in him, because he is me in another body, I need to say, how do I still have that within me? Because remember, your divine masculine is your mirror, a reflection of you. So which also means that how you treat him is also a reflection of how you treat yourself. And so I want you to think about that for a moment. For some of you, you have a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, a lot of frustration towards your divine masculine. And some of you need to realize that all of those emotions are actually there to teach you something about yourself. But you have this resistance or an unwillingness to dive into that anger and frustration. Instead, it's easier to point the finger at the other person. But what I've learned is my anger towards my beloved has nothing to do with him and had everything to do with me. And a lot of times, truth be told, the anger that I had was because I actually had done the same thing as him, but I had forgotten about it. I had suppressed it. Or my anger and frustration comes from when others cross boundaries that I have set up for myself and haven't communicated that boundary to him. And so where is it that you, and how is it that you can redirect your anger and frustration away from him and towards yourself, and to see what it is that's it's here to teach you? Because once you can understand that he is you in another body, and what you can see in him lies within you, it will change everything in terms of how you view your healing, how you view this journey. Because what most of you haven't realized yet is that you and your beloved go through the exact same experiences, the exact same. If I were to think about over the last 7+ years that I've known my beloved, there's probably 30+ things that I can think about right off the top of my head that both him and I have experienced, but maybe at different times. And for some of you, you're in third-party dynamics right now, which means your beloved could be in a karmic connection. And for many of you, your karmic connection came before you met your beloved. And if you were to really, truly think about your karmic connection, excuse me, and his karmic connection, most likely they're a mirror of one another. Meaning what it is that he is going through is going to be very similar as to what you went through with your karmic. And thinking about all the pain and the suffering and the struggle that you went through, what is it that you can do to help support him in this case? And not from a codependent place, but from a place of understanding, a place of compassion, because you have once been there. And yes, I can hear some of you saying, well, I didn't have anybody there supporting me and helping me. But that doesn't matter, because you chose to experience that. And because you are now in a different place in your journey, how can you open up more to that compassion and to that understanding? Because many of you are still thinking, what can I get? What can I get? What can I get? What can I get? When relationships are about what can I give, without any expectation, without asking for anything in return, but you purely want to give. Okay, and as I just finished that, I just looked at my phone and it's 11:11. All right, let's go into number 5. So number 5 is, this is kind of a continuation of what we were just talking about, is letting go of expectations. I had to learn that I needed to let go of expectations in terms of him, in terms of life, and others. Because, hear me out on this, I struggled with this for many, many years. And me having these expectations actually blocked me from moving forward in my journey. and actually blocked my divine masculine from coming forward. And I want to give you an example that I see a lot of times in posts and in groups on Facebook is many of you divine feminines want your beloved to be just like you, because many of you are spiritual, very intuitive, very gifted. And many of you want your beloved to be the same way. And by you simply wanting him to be the same way and expecting him to be the same way as you, because you're like, oh, well, he's me in another body. But you have to remember that there's duality and polarity within the dynamic. Is that by you expecting him to be that way, it's actually blocking him from coming forward and showing you who he truly is. Because energetically, you're saying, if you don't come this way, then I'm not going to take you back. Or if you're not doing this, I don't want you around. So how can you let go of that expectation and allow him to come forward in whatever version of him that is wanting to come forward? Because just like you were peeling back and taking off all these masks that you have been wearing your whole life. And he's doing the same exact thing. And so allow him to come forward and to show you who he is and where he is at in his journey, just like he has done for you. Many of you have had divine masculines who have given you the time and the space to grow and to experience life and to learn in a way that's really nourishing for you. But we haven't always given that back to divine masculine. And it's really important that we do that. And when I talk about these things, you're doing them from a state of wholeness, a state of feeling complete, a healed state. Not from a place of what can I get or codependent patterns, but a place of unconditional love. Because that's what this journey is truly about. The other thing that I learned, and this was also a really hard lesson for me to learn, and this is kind of piggybacking off of what I was just talking about, where a lot of the divine masculines have given the divine feminines a space to learn and to grow in the way that she intuitively feels is best for her. And yes, there are times when they question or it creates conflict between them because he's not understanding some things that she's doing. But you have to remember that everything that he is doing in the 3D reality, because for many of you, you need to understand that your focus right now on the journey is about the inner world, doing the healing within. He's focused on the 3D reality. And everything that he's doing is not only for his growth in this lifetime, but also for you. He's leading you through experiences that are helping you heal as well. And when you can understand this, it allows you to open up and say, how can I continue to learn from you? It opens you up to allowing him to lead. And the last thing I want to share with you, number 7, is that I learned how to be a human being and not a human doing. And for many of you, myself included, and when I say you, remember that I was once part of that group. The things that you are caught up in, the patterns, the limiting beliefs, all of this stuff, I was once there, and I know what it's like. But I learned to become a human being. And what I mean by that is we are here to be and to know and to remember our birthrights. which is abundance. And we are here to be and to experience life to the fullest. We aren't meant to be human doings. As you begin to heal, you learn to dance with your inner masculine and your inner feminine. And the more that you heal the distortions and the wounds within these energies, the more you start to feel complete, the more you start to feel balanced, and you start to learn to take inspired action. Like right now, for example, as I'm creating this episode, on my list of things to do today, I was going to do this earlier, but there was something that was moving me and inspiring me to create this right now in the morning versus the afternoon. And that's the inspired action that we are meant to take, and to dance with life, and to know our worth and our value that we bring to this planet. And so where is it that you're still caught up in the doing? And by doing so, you are missing out on the present moment. The moment right now, the space that we only have that exists is the very moment right now. And many of you might be caught up in worrying about the future, stuck in the past, and those take away from this very moment. And in this very moment is all we have, and it is the space that we get to create our reality, and where we get to simply just be. And so, my loves, I thank you for joining me in this episode. I know some of it was coming through was maybe triggering or hard to hear. Some of it was channeled and coming through from source. And I have so much love for you and so much gratitude for you for saying yes to this path, to saying yes to yourself, and to journeying together as twin flames. Because let's face it, as I tell one of my best friends who's on the journey as well, I'm like, man, the journey of awakening in itself can be challenging and overwhelming. And then those of us that chose however long ago to be on this path as twin flames, we added an extra layer to our journey because our soul knows what it is that we are capable of. And it's a reminder for you that you are capable of more. And so I'm sending you all so much love and light, and can't wait to connect with you, I should say, in episode number 3 coming at you next week. And so I invite you to join me. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on an episode. And I encourage you to follow me on Instagram or TikTok, and click on my website down below where you can find all my offerings to help you, to support you on this journey. And until next time, my friends,